Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the clutter in your life? What if I told you that letting go of the things you no longer need could add years to your life and make you feel healthier, happier, and more energized? In this video, we're going to explore the powerful benefits of decluttering, specifically tailored for seniors. From hidden health hazards to emotional baggage, we'll show you how clearing your space can help clear your mind, reduce stress, and even improve your physical health. You'll hear inspiring stories, like that of Betty, a 72-year-old grandmother who transformed her life just by letting go of the clutter that was weighing her down. By the end of this video, you'll discover the top 10 things to declutter right now for a healthier, happier you. Not only will you learn practical tips on how to get started, but you'll also understand how decluttering can create a safer, more peaceful environment, enhance your mental clarity, and give you the freedom to embrace the present. Whether it's old medical supplies, unused gadgets, or toxic relationships, we'll cover everything you need to know to begin this life-changing process. Stay with us, because making just a small change today can lead to an incredibly positive transformation in your life. It's never too late to start, and the benefits of simplifying your surroundings will leave you feeling lighter, freer, and more fulfilled than ever before. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Are you ready to embrace a fresh start and begin your decluttering journey? Let's take this step together, with intention and heart. As we age, it's almost second nature to hold on to things. A beloved sweater that once kept us warm, a towering stack of magazines we promised to read, or a drawer brimming with gadgets we might need one day. These items often feel like anchors to our past, tied to memories or a sense of security. But have you ever paused to reflect on the emotional and physical toll this clutter might be taking on your life? The reality is that clutter does more than occupy space in your home. It occupies space in your mind, creating an invisible weight that you carry every day. Think about how it feels to squeeze through a room packed with furniture or rummage through an overstuffed drawer looking for one small thing. It's exhausting, isn't it? That subtle stress builds up, and before you know it, you're not just navigating physical obstacles but emotional ones, too. The just-in-case mindset may seem practical, but more often than not, it ties us to what we no longer need, robbing us of the freedom to fully embrace the present. Now imagine a different reality. Picture your home transformed into a sanctuary of simplicity and peace. Rooms with open spaces where sunlight streams freely, a kitchen where every drawer opens with ease, and hallways clear enough to walk through without worry. Decluttering doesn't just create physical order, it breathes life into your home and your spirit. It reduces stress, bringing a calmness that echoes through your entire day. You'll feel lighter, both in body and mind, as you reclaim control over your environment. And the rewards don't stop there. A clutter-free home is a safer home, fewer tripping hazards and less risk of accidents. For those of us navigating the joys and challenges of later life, this can be a game changer. Safety means independence, and independence means living life on your terms. Beyond safety, there's a surprising emotional release in letting go. With every item you discard, you shed a little piece of the past that no longer serves you, making room for new experiences and memories. You don't need to tackle it all in one day. Start small. Just one corner, one drawer, or one pile of papers. Celebrate each step, no matter how tiny. Maybe that old stack of newspapers in the kitchen is the perfect place to begin. With each decision to let go, you'll notice a shift. Not just in your surroundings, but in your sense of self. Your home will feel lighter, but so will your heart. Decluttering is not just about organizing your space, it's a profound act of self-care. It's about creating a life that feels intentional, manageable, and joyful. So take a deep breath, roll up your sleeves, and begin this journey with courage and compassion. You deserve a home that reflects the peace and beauty within you. Let's make it happen, one step at a time. 1. Old medical supplies and equipment. As we grow older, it's natural to keep medical supplies and equipment just in case. We tell ourselves these items might be useful someday, but holding on to outdated or expired supplies can do more harm than good. Expired medications, worn-out bandages, or broken medical devices are not just useless, they can pose serious health risks. Picture yourself in a moment of need, reaching for a medication only to realize it expired months ago. Worse, imagine taking it without noticing, risking harmful side effects that could jeopardize your well-being. It's a scenario no one wants to face, yet it's a danger that often lurks unnoticed in our homes. Take a moment to consider your own space, your medicine cabinet, your first aid kit, or that drawer where old medical equipment tends to accumulate. Have you looked through it recently? You might be surprised at how many items are no longer safe or functional. Outdated medications should never be tossed carelessly in the trash or flushed down the toilet, as they can harm the environment or even fall into the wrong hands. Instead, check with your local pharmacy or community disposal program to ensure they are safely discarded. Clearing out these forgotten items is more than just a practical task, it's an act of self-care. By refreshing your medical supplies, you're taking a proactive step toward prioritizing your health and creating a safer living environment. The simple act of organizing and discarding can feel incredibly empowering. It's as if you're reclaiming control over your space, making room for what truly matters. I find this process deeply therapeutic. As I sort through items, I feel a sense of renewal, as though I'm shedding unnecessary weight from my life. Each item I discard is a reminder that I'm taking care of myself in the present and preparing for the future. It's not just about decluttering, it's about peace of mind. When my space is organized and equipped with only the essentials, I feel more confident and prepared to face whatever comes my way. So, have you checked your medicine cabinet lately? If not, take this as a gentle nudge. Refreshing your medical supplies isn't just about safety, it's a powerful way to show yourself love and care. You deserve a home that supports your health, free from the clutter of the past. Make the time to clear out the old and embrace the reassurance of knowing you're ready for what lies ahead. 2. Paper clutter. Paper clutter is one of the most insidious types of chaos that can creep into our lives, especially for seniors who have lived through decades of paperwork piling up. Old bills, faded receipts, and instruction manuals for appliances you no longer own can accumulate, quietly occupying space in your home and your mind. Each stack of papers feels like a silent accuser, a constant whisper of unfinished tasks and unresolved matters. It's not just clutter, it's emotional baggage. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Have you ever paused in front of a pile of papers and felt a pang of guilt? That small voice saying, "I'll get to this later?" But later never comes, and with every glance, that weight grows heavier. It's not just about the mess, it's the nagging sense of responsibility that keeps you tethered to the past. Those papers become symbols of things left undone, and over time, they rob you of your peace. Here's the truth. Most of those papers don't deserve to hold that kind of power over you. Today can be the day you take control. Start with one small stack. Sort through it gently but decisively, separating what truly matters from what's just clutter. Those receipts from 5 years ago? They don't hold your memories. That manual for a toaster you don't even own anymore? It's not worth your precious space. For the documents you need to keep, embrace the beauty of technology. Digitizing records like medical forms, tax papers, or legal documents can feel like a breath of fresh air. There's something incredibly empowering about knowing those important papers are secure in the cloud, easily accessible when you need them, rather than buried in a mountain of disarray. Once you've scanned the essentials, take a moment to shred the rest. The sound of the shredder can be oddly therapeutic, like a symbolic release of stress and worry. Letting go of paper clutter is more than just tidying up. It's reclaiming your life. It's giving yourself permission to live in the present, unburdened by the past. Imagine walking into a room free of those haunting stacks, with your desk clear and your mind at ease. That sense of calm and order spills over into other areas of your life, making everything feel a little more manageable. Clearing paper clutter is a gift to yourself, a way of saying, I deserve to live free of unnecessary burdens. It's not about perfection. It's about peace. And doesn't that sound like something worth striving for? 3. Clothing. Clothing often becomes more than just fabric. It transforms into a collection of cherished memories, a tapestry of our lives woven into each thread. However, it's also one of the most common things we hold on to, sometimes for far longer than we should. Take Betty, for instance. When she finally decided to declutter her home, she was stunned to find that nearly half of her closet was filled with clothes she hadn't worn in years. There were outfits from decades ago, relics of a time gone by, none of which fit her lifestyle or her body anymore. Still, she found it nearly impossible to part with them. For Betty, each piece told a story. The jacket she wore on her first date, the blouse she bought for her first job interview, and the dress she wore to her child's graduation, all held emotional weight far beyond their practicality. Letting go felt like saying goodbye to those moments, as if she'd lose a part of herself in the process. But clinging to these items also meant holding on to the past in a way that left little room for the present. Maybe you can relate to Betty. Perhaps there's a pair of jeans tucked away in your closet that you're hoping to fit into again someday, or a sweater that reminds you of a loved one who has long since passed. It's perfectly human to hold on to these things. After all, clothing can be an anchor to a time when life felt more vibrant, or when you felt more like yourself. But have you ever stopped to wonder if those old clothes are also weighing you down? Not just physically, but emotionally? As you sift through your closet, take a deep breath and ask yourself, when was the last time I wore this? If the answer is over a year ago, or if the item no longer fits or makes you feel good, it might be time to let it go. Yes, parting with sentimental items can feel like a loss, but here's a thought to hold on to. Letting go doesn't erase the memory. You don't need a dusty sweater to remind you of a special moment. Those memories live in your heart, not your closet. For items you truly struggle to part with, consider taking a photo before donating or recycling them. Capture the memory and then release the physical object with gratitude for the role it played in your life. Trust me, the space you'll create in your wardrobe will feel like a deep exhale, liberating, refreshing, and full of possibility. Letting go of old clothing is about more than decluttering. It's about reclaiming your life, your space, and your mental clarity. A functional closet filled with items that fit, flatter, and make you feel confident is a gift to yourself. It's a way to honor who you are now, not who you used to be. And with every piece you release, you're making room for new experiences, new memories, and a present that truly reflects your current self. Embrace the freedom and step forward with lightness, knowing that the best chapters of your story are still waiting to be written. 4. Unused kitchen gadgets. It's astonishing how easily kitchen gadgets accumulate over the years. Each one often enters our lives with the promise of convenience, efficiency, or even a touch of culinary magic. Remember that bread maker you bought, imagining the smell of freshly baked loaves filling your home? Or the waffle iron you envisioned using every Sunday morning for breakfast with loved ones? Yet, here they sit, untouched and forgotten, buried deep in the shadows of your cabinets. It's a story most of us know too well. How many of us have opened a kitchen drawer, only to feel a pang of guilt or nostalgia seeing gadgets we haven't touched in years? Unused kitchen tools do more than gather dust. They quietly steal the precious space we need to thrive. Each neglected item adds to the clutter, making it harder to reach for the tools we use daily and harder still to maintain an organized, inviting kitchen. When we let these items linger, we're not just holding onto objects. We're holding onto unrealized expectations and unnecessary burdens. And it's not just about aesthetics. This clutter can even pose safety risks. Overfilled cabinets can lead to items tumbling out unexpectedly, and cramped countertops can make simple tasks feel overwhelming. In a space meant for nourishment and creativity, why let chaos reign? Take a moment to walk into your kitchen and truly look around. Are there items that spark joy, that you use with love and purpose? Or are there things that haven't seen the light of day in months, perhaps even years? It can be hard to let go. Each gadget may carry memories of past ambitions or dreams of the person you wanted to be. But holding on to them doesn't make you that person. It only clutters your present. Imagine the relief of opening a drawer and finding only the essentials, tools you reach for with ease, items that serve you without question. By donating, selling, or recycling those forgotten gadgets, you're not just decluttering your kitchen. You're clearing space for peace, functionality, and even self-compassion. Letting go of what no longer serves you can be surprisingly emotional, but it's also incredibly liberating. When you declutter, you're not just creating physical space. You're inviting a sense of calm and clarity into your home. Your kitchen transforms from a place of frustration to one of joy, where cooking feels less like a chore and more like a celebration of life's simple pleasures. It's not just about making room for new gadgets. It's about making room for yourself, your creativity, and the life you want to live. So, take that inventory today. As you let go of those unused gadgets, remind yourself that you're choosing simplicity, functionality, and joy. After all, a kitchen is more than just a space for cooking. It's the heart of your home, and it deserves to be a reflection of the care and love you bring to your life every day. 5. Outdated electronics. As technology advances at a breathtaking pace, our homes often become unintentional museums of yesterday's gadgets. That old smartphone you retired years ago, the tablet that's been gathering dust in a corner, or the drawer bursting with a jumble of forgotten cables and chargers, these objects hold a strange mix of nostalgia and neglect. But have you ever paused to consider the invisible weight these items place on your space, and perhaps even your mind? Betty's decluttering journey brought her face to face with a stark reality. One rainy afternoon, she opened a neglected drawer, expecting to find something useful, but instead uncovered a tangled mess of outdated phone chargers, forgotten remotes, and gadgets whose purpose she couldn't even remember. Some were so ancient, they seemed more like relics than tools. As she sifted through the pile, she felt a twinge of guilt for holding on to things that no longer served her. She realized these items weren't just taking up physical space, they were crowding her mental space too. Each unused gadget was a silent reminder of things left undone, the recycling trip she never took or the donation she kept putting off. Betty decided it was time to let go, and in doing so, she found something unexpected: freedom. Imagine the relief of opening a drawer and seeing only what you need, neatly arranged and ready to serve you. Take a moment today to look around your own home. That old DVD player you haven't touched in years, the pile of tangled cables, the ancient VCR tucked away in a closet. These objects might seem harmless, but they're quietly stealing your space and energy. Letting go can feel bittersweet, but it's also empowering. Recycle those outdated electronics responsibly by checking with local recycling centers or community drop-off programs. If something still works, imagine the joy it could bring to someone in need. A local charity, school, or shelter might welcome the donation. Holding on to the past can be comforting, but embracing the present clears the way for growth and simplicity. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you make room for what truly matters. Clarity, peace, and the joy of a home that reflects your current life, not a collection of outdated relics. Take that step. It's more than decluttering. It's reclaiming your space and your energy. 6. Extra furniture. As the years go by, it's easy to gather more furniture than we truly need. That old armchair that holds sentimental value, the side table we thought would be perfect for our coffee mug, or the decorative pieces we fell in love with but rarely glance at now, they all quietly take up space. While these items may hold memories or aesthetic value, they can also pose unexpected risks, especially as we age. Too much furniture doesn't just clutter a home. It can create physical hazards that interfere with safety and comfort. Imagine navigating a room with narrow pathways between heavy furniture. Every corner becomes a potential tripping hazard, and in moments of imbalance or urgency, these obstacles could turn a minor stumble into a serious fall. For seniors, the consequences of such accidents can be life-changing, often leading to prolonged recovery times or even loss of independence. It's heartbreaking to think that the very home meant to offer solace and security could instead become a danger zone due to overcrowding. Take a moment to truly assess your living space with a critical, yet loving eye. Is that extra bookshelf in the hallway truly necessary, or has it become more of a burden than a benefit? Does the oversized coffee table in the living room serve a purpose, or does it block your natural walking path? Clearing out unused or bulky furniture doesn't mean letting go of memories. It's about prioritizing your well-being and creating an environment where you can move freely, safely, and with peace of mind. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. When you remove unnecessary pieces, you're not just decluttering. You're giving yourself the gift of space, ease, and simplicity. Open, airy layouts can make your home feel larger, brighter, and more inviting. More importantly, these changes can significantly reduce the risk of accidents, helping you maintain your independence for longer. It's not always easy to part with items that once brought joy, but remember, your safety and comfort are far more valuable than any piece of furniture. In the end, a home isn't defined by how much it holds, but by how well it serves the people who live there. Let go of what no longer serves you, and embrace a space that feels like a sanctuary, safe, open, and filled with room to breathe. 7. Books. Books hold an unparalleled place in our hearts. They are more than just objects. They are companions, teachers, and gateways to other worlds. Each book we own tells a story, not just within its pages, but in the way it came into our lives. Purchased on a whim, gifted by a loved one, or discovered during a pivotal moment. They comfort us in times of sorrow, inspire us when we're lost, and sometimes simply remind us of who we once were. Over the years, it's easy to amass a collection of books. Some are cherished favorites, read and reread until the pages are worn soft. Others are aspirational, sitting on our shelves as silent promises for someday. And then there are the books we keep because of the memories they carry. Markers of a life lived, reminders of where we've been. Yet, as time marches on, those books can become an overwhelming presence, a symbol of clutter that ties us to the past. Letting go of books you'll never reread is not an easy task. It feels like letting go of a piece of yourself. Each one served a purpose, teaching you, entertaining you, or transporting you to another time and place. But holding on to books that no longer serve you can weigh you down emotionally and physically. They gather dust, occupy precious space, and prevent you from embracing the new. When you release these books, you're not discarding their value, you're sharing it. Imagine the joy your old novels could bring to a lonely senior at a care center, or the excitement of a child discovering a new story at a library. Donating books is an act of love, a way to give them a second life. It's not just decluttering, it's an emotional release, a way to honor the role those books played in your life and pass their magic to someone else. Take a moment to stand in front of your bookshelf. Run your fingers along the spines and feel the memories tied to each title. Ask yourself, will I ever read this again? Does it still bring me joy, or am I keeping it out of habit or guilt? Letting go doesn't mean you're erasing the past. It means making room for the future, for new stories, and a fresh chapter in your own life. There will always be books you'll never part with, the ones that feel like old friends. For me, there's one novel I'll always keep. It's not just about the story within its pages, but the comfort it brought me on sleepless nights and the way it taught me something profound about myself. What's your book like that? I'd love to hear which one holds a special place in your heart. By letting go of the books you no longer need, you're not losing anything. You're gaining clarity, space, And the peace that comes with knowing those books might light up someone else's life. In freeing up your shelves, you're also freeing up your soul, making space for growth, for inspiration, and for the joy of discovering new stories to cherish. After all, the love of books is not about quantity but about the quality of the connection they bring to our lives. 8. Unused hobby supplies. Many of us can recall the spark of joy a new hobby once brought into our lives. Perhaps it was the soothing rhythm of knitting needles clicking together, the vibrant strokes of a paintbrush bringing a canvas to life, or the satisfying crunch of soil as we tended a garden. These hobbies were more than activities. They were a source of happiness, creativity, and peace. But as the years pass, our interests evolve, and sometimes those cherished hobbies quietly fade into the background. Yet, the supplies we once used so enthusiastically often remain, tucked away in closets, basements, or spare rooms, gathering dust and taking up space. For Betty, the realization hit hard when she began decluttering her home. She unearthed a forgotten treasure trove, brightly colored yarn and knitting needles, a painting half complete, and a set of gardening tools that hadn't seen sunlight in years. Each item told a story of a time when her heart was fully immersed in creating something beautiful. But as she held them, a bittersweet truth emerged. While those hobbies had brought her joy in the past, they no longer resonated with the person she had become. Her interests had shifted, and these items, once so full of purpose, now weighed her down. Take a moment to reflect on your collection of unused hobby supplies. Are there knitting projects left unfinished, art supplies waiting for inspiration that never seems to come, or equipment from a hobby you no longer have time for? Holding on to these items can feel like clinging to a version of ourselves that no longer exists, as if letting them go means letting go of the joy they once brought us. But the truth is, releasing them can be a profound act of self-care and renewal. Imagine the joy these supplies could bring to someone else, a friend eager to try their hand at painting, a school art program in need of materials, or a community garden where tools are always appreciated. By passing them on, you're not just decluttering your home. You're giving these items a second chance to bring happiness to someone else. And in doing so, you create space, not just physical, but emotional, for new hobbies, passions, and experiences that reflect who you are today. Letting go of unused hobby supplies isn't about losing pieces of yourself. It's about honoring the chapters of your life they represent while making room for new stories to unfold. It's a liberating process, a way of saying, "Thank you for the joy you brought me," and then opening your heart to fresh possibilities. So, gather those supplies, reflect on their significance, and let them go with love, knowing you're creating room for a life that fits you now. 9. Toxic relationships. Decluttering isn't just about cleaning out closets or organizing drawers. It's a profound act of reclaiming your peace and creating space for what truly matters. While we often focus on the physical mess in our homes, the mental and emotional clutter we carry, particularly toxic relationships, can weigh us down even more. Just as a chaotic home can make you feel suffocated, toxic relationships slowly erode your spirit, leaving you drained, anxious, and disconnected from your happiness. The older I get, the clearer it becomes. Life is far too precious and fleeting to waste on people who diminish your light. Toxic relationships, whether they come disguised as a friend, a family member, or even a longtime colleague, sap your energy and can cloud your sense of self-worth. They bring unnecessary negativity into your life, often making you doubt yourself or feel as though you're walking on eggshells. Worse still, the effects aren't just emotional. The stress from these connections can creep into your physical health, manifesting as tension headaches, insomnia, fatigue, and even more serious issues like high blood pressure. Taking stock of your relationships is not just a practical step, it's an act of deep self-love. Who in your life truly nourishes you? Are there people who, no matter what you do, always leave you feeling small, unappreciated, or burdened? It's painful to acknowledge, but necessary. Some relationships are meant to end. Letting go doesn't mean you're heartless or selfish. It means you're brave enough to protect your peace and strong enough to demand the respect and kindness you deserve. I believe the most courageous form of self-care is setting boundaries, even with people you thought you couldn't live without. Yes, it's hard. You might feel guilt, even grief, when you step away from toxic connections, especially if they involve family or old friends. But ask yourself, how much joy, growth, and freedom have you sacrificed by holding on to people who only weigh you down? Surrounding yourself with those who lift you is like stepping into the sunlight after being trapped in the shadows. Seek out relationships that inspire you and make you feel valued, seen, and celebrated. These are the connections that will fuel your journey and remind you of your worth. Let go of the fear that comes with creating space in your life, because every inch you clear of negativity becomes a fertile ground for positivity, love, and genuine connection to take root. In the end, letting go of toxic relationships is not about cutting others off. It's about honoring yourself. It's about saying, "I deserve better," and refusing to accept anything less. This decision may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. When you release what no longer serves you, you're not just decluttering your life. You're creating a sanctuary where you can thrive, unburdened and free to embrace the joy and love you truly deserve. 10. Regret and guilt. Physical clutter is easy to see. It piles up in front of us, a constant reminder of what we need to address. But the emotional clutter of regret and guilt is more insidious, quietly embedding itself in our hearts and minds, weighing us down in ways we often fail to recognize. Carrying the burden of past mistakes, missed chances, or unresolved guilt is like dragging a heavy suitcase everywhere you go. It saps your energy, clouds your judgment, and leaves little room for joy. And yet, it's a burden we convince ourselves we must bear, as though punishing ourselves will somehow make things right. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But here's the truth. Holding on to regret and guilt doesn't fix the past. It only steals from your present and future. Releasing these emotions is the most liberating act of decluttering you can undertake. Imagine setting down that heavy suitcase, breathing deeply, and finally feeling free. Emotional decluttering isn't just an act of self-care. It's a profound act of self-love. I remember hearing Betty's story, and it left an impression on me that I'll never forget. She had spent years haunted by guilt over a decision she made in her 30s, one she couldn't change no matter how much she replayed it in her mind. It wasn't until she made the intentional choice to forgive herself that she experienced a shift she described as life-changing. "I feel like I've lost 10 pounds emotionally," she told me, tears streaming down her face. At that moment, she realized her worth wasn't tied to her past mistakes. She wasn't that woman anymore, and holding on to the guilt served no purpose but to keep her stuck. Betty gave herself the permission she had long denied, to let go, to heal, to live. Her journey inspired me to reflect on my emotional clutter. How many of us are silently holding on to regrets that no one else knows about? Maybe it's the harsh words we said during an argument years ago, or an opportunity we let slip through our fingers. Or maybe it's guilt, raw, unrelenting guilt, that we can't seem to shake. What if, instead of punishing ourselves, we chose to embrace self-compassion? What if we told ourselves, "I am not my mistakes. I deserve forgiveness, even if it's only from myself"? Betty's story is a reminder that emotional decluttering is not about erasing the past. It's about rewriting your relationship with it. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't matter. It means acknowledging that you're human, and as humans, we stumble. But those stumbles don't have to define us. They can teach us, guide us, and ultimately empower us to be better. The power of letting go goes beyond just feeling lighter. It creates space for joy, for peace, for new beginnings. When Betty finished her journey of decluttering, it wasn't just her home that felt transformed. She had built a new life for herself, one that was rooted in clarity, simplicity, and an unapologetic sense of self-worth. She let go of physical clutter, but she also let go of outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, and the weight of her self-criticism. In their place, she cultivated a life filled with meaningful connections, fulfilling pursuits, and the freedom to simply be. Decluttering isn't about what you're giving up, it's about what you're gaining. When you release the physical and emotional clutter that no longer serves you, you open the door to possibilities you never imagined. You invite peace, clarity, and happiness. You give yourself the greatest gift of all, the freedom to move forward without the chains of the past holding you back. So, take a moment to reflect. What regrets or guilt are you holding on to? Are they helping you, or are they keeping you stuck? Remember, letting go isn't an act of weakness, it's an act of strength. By choosing to release those burdens, you're choosing yourself, your happiness, and your future. And isn't that what you deserve? As we come to the end of this video, take a moment to reflect on everything we've shared about decluttering both physically and emotionally. What resonated with you the most? Was it Betty's story of transformation or the idea of letting go of regret and guilt to embrace a lighter, freer life? We'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you've learned today that you'll bring into practice in your own life? Whether it's forgiving yourself, decluttering an emotional burden, or simply creating more space for joy and peace, share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else to take their first step toward a fresh start. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue creating content to inspire and uplift. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.